Well, it looks like they've come out with this pro-America, patriotic, old school Budweiser looking ad with the Clydesdales and the red, white, and blue and all that. I'm like, well, a little late
How on God's green earth are Republicans still freaking out about Dylan Mulvaney being on a beer can?
for that. The American public, we're never left alone anymore. We literally can't go anywhere without something divisive or political being thrown into our face. And I think when they went after the beer can, something that people have loved for decades, Bud Light, Coors Light, that's kind of like Ford and Chevy. A guy will say, I'm a Bud guy, or I'm a Coors guy, or I'm a Miller Lite guy. I'm a Chevy guy, I'm a Ford guy. So you've got people that have had brand loyalty to Bud Light forever, since they've been drinking beer. That's what they drink, and they feel betrayed by it, and they just can't believe that now when they're sitting down to relax and have a beer at the end of the day, now it's in their face again, and I think they just had enough of it.
Okay, so this clip from Fox News is unbelievable, not because they're freaking out about a trans person being in a media campaign, because of course we all know that there's nothing more terrifying to the Republican Party than just any type of reminder that transgender people exist. So, boo! But no, it's just silly and it's over the top. And at this point, it's honestly hilarious that Republican voters and Fox News continue to freak out about this, even after Anheuser-Busch has gone to like a bunch of elected Republicans and said, hey, you need to stop coming after Bud Light because I don't know if you know this, but alcohol companies tend to donate a lot of money to the Republican Party, including Anheuser-Busch. And it turns out that insulting the people who are literally donating to your political campaign is generally a bad strategy in a country where our politics is largely dictated by giant corporations, which really just adds a whole nother layer of hilarity to all of this. Because ultimately, you have Republicans that are attacking the rights of trans people, that are getting supported by companies that are trying to market off of the existence of trans people. And so, in a way, Republicans are being asked to tone down their anti trans rhetoric by these corporations who, at the end of the day, just want to sell beer to queer people. Because what these Republicans are unwilling to accept, the most deranged, unhinged among the Republican Party are unwilling to accept, is the simple fact that most people actually don't care about trans people just being themselves. Most people are not sent into some sort of frenzied panic where they're tweeting all day long about trans people, just at some sort of casual reminder that trans people exist. It turns out people just like living their lives. And so even within the Republican Party, this is something that's generally unpopular, except for among their most rabid and active base. And so you have this situation where the donors to the Republican Party, the leadership within the Republican Party, are failing to take control over the most unhinged people within the Republican Party, the lower elected officials and the voting base, which are pushing a ridiculous policy that is fundamentally unpopular. The only thing they think that they have a winning numbers on is when it comes to trans people in sports. But even most people are very easily won over about trans people in sports when they're given the basic scientific facts that HRT takes away any type of theoretical benefit that might come from being assigned male at birth, from going through male puberty. It turns out that when you're taking estrogen and testosterone blockers, that all of the theoretical advantage that testosterone would give you goes away. And when people hear that, most people are fine with trans women playing in professional sports, actually. And so right now, Republicans have built this castle of sand on transphobia. It is an issue that has continuously been a failure for them, and they have tried it many times. In fact, transphobia is part of the reason why Kentucky has a Democratic governor, because the Republicans just can't let it go. They're spending all of their time attacking literal children. They're spending their time attacking people who are way more famous and popular than they could ever dream to be. All because something about trans people just unlocks this derangement in people's brains where once somebody says something transphobic, they cannot ever seem to get back to posting or saying anything normal ever again. And so while Republicans in different state legislatures across the country are trying to strip away the rights of trans people, are trying to make it effectively impossible for trans people to live in public, as they're trying to take away basic health care from trans people, Not only the large corporations in the United States and the Republican leadership in the United States, but also the court system in the United States is kindly asking the Republican base to chill out. Because at the end of the day, this is a losing issue for Republicans. And that is exactly why companies are trying to market to trans people in the first place. You see, these companies already did the calculus. They already know what's more profitable. And they know that they're going to make a lot more money pissing off some extreme conservatives if it means just doing some token gestures towards the LGBTQ community. It just seems that Fox News and a huge chunk of the Republican base is unwilling to take the L.